show entitled Baking with Bo. My name is Stephen Bobby and I'm going to be your host tonight. Tonight we're going to be putting a cinnamon twist on a summer Texas classic, cinnamon peach upside down cake. Y'all ready to get y'all's bells rocked with these peaches? So this is a really simple dish. We're going to be using a lot of really basic ingredients that you've probably worked with before, especially if you've cooked any type of cakes. So the first thing we're going to want to do is go ahead and preheat our oven to 350 degrees. Alright, meanwhile, let's head over to the stove. And I have a spring form cake pan on low heat right now. And if you don't have a spring form pan, you can use any kind of cake pan that you have in your kitchen. That'll work just fine. And we're going to go ahead and start with the first part. So first we're going to want to take 4 tablespoons of butter. This is at room temperature. And we're going to go ahead and melt this on our pan. This is going to serve as the topping for the peach. Just get that melted on there real nice. I have it on low. And we're going to end up adding some brown sugar and cinnamon to this. And it's going to serve as a real nice glaze for the peaches on top. Y'all may be wondering why we're cooking peaches in the wintertime during Christmas. Well, my grandmother grew up in a town where they had a peach festival every year. And as a young kid, I would go out to the peach festival every year and they would cook peaches in almost every dishes. Canned peaches, peach pies, and I remember it was just a really fun experience for my family. And I would like to bring that to the holidays and add a little twist. So now let's go ahead and add the brown sugar and the cinnamon. And we're just going to let that melt on there just a little bit. And once it gets nice and melted, we'll let it sit there and we'll move on to the cake. So I'm just stirring occasionally here, getting it mixed up. And you're going to want to cook this until it starts to bubble, like so. Once you see that kind of bubble action, you can go ahead and just set your stove off, and we're going to let that sit and caramelize, and then we'll go ahead and start preparing our cake. We're ready to start preparing the cake batter. If you've ever made cake batter, you know sugar and butter comes first. So we'll go ahead and put in 12 tablespoons of butter. Beat those. I have this KitchenAid. If you don't have a KitchenAid, that's totally fine. You can use an electric hand mixer. That'll work just fine. And I'm going to set this on about medium. And just beat that for a little bit. I'll end up adding some sugar here in a minute. So I'll be honest, I'm a novice to this. I'm not a pro baker. This is one of my maybe 3rd time baking. And I decided to start baking because I've been cooking for the past couple of years, but I've never really baked before, and I thought it'd be really cool to start, and it'd be a fun way to explore the kitchen in new ways. So now I'm going to go ahead and add the sugar and continue beating the butter and sugar. And I'm just adding a little bit at a time. This is one of my favorite parts. The first time I ever baked, I made cake pops. And I had to do this. And if you've ever beaten butter and sugar together, you get this really like icing kind of texture, and it's really fun to play with. So now it's time to add the eggs. I'm gonna go get them. I'll be right back. So this year, I had the opportunity to spend the holiday season with my dad's family in North Carolina. We're here in High Point, and just a couple of years ago, they got some chickens, and these chickens make some really good eggs that I think will make a great addition to our cinnamon upside down peach cake. And so let's see if we can get some from them real quick. I just laid out a little bit of feed to lure them out of their nests and chase them down, see if we can make them lay out some eggs. So the trick to this is you gotta be a chicken yourself. one seems too friendly right now. Maybe we should go to their coop and see if they've laid any eggs in the past couple days. Follow me this way. So here's their chicken coop. We have the 4 chickens, and they each have their own nest here. And during the winter, they tend to not produce as many eggs, but still between the 4 of them, we'll tend to get maybe 2 or 3 a day. Today it looks like we just have 1. It's still warm, super fresh, most organic eggs you can get. So we'll go ahead and pop these into our cake and see how it goes. See you soon. Whew, that was a struggle, but I got them. Go ahead and add these to your KitchenAid. And you can begin to increase the speed now to high. And I added 2 eggs. And I'm adding a little bit of vanilla extract, just a couple of teaspoons. One, 2. And let that whip for a little bit. And now I'm going to start adding my dry ingredients. I have salt, baking powder, and I'm going to begin to lower the speed again. And some more cinnamon. Remember, we're putting that cinnamon twist on this peach upside down cake. And finally the flour. I'm going to add these in a couple, not all at once. Let that stir in there. And be sure to be scraping the sides as you go. I'm going to go ahead and do that now. It's coming out looking really nice so far. I still have a little bit more flour to add. Just make sure you get them all from the sides so everything gets mixed in evenly. Go ahead and whip it a little bit more. It ain't cooking if you don't get dirty. Batter's just about done. I want to tell you a little funny story though. The first time I ever baked, well, I wasn't really quite able to tell the difference between flour and powdered sugar, so I was trying to make this cake, and instead of adding 2 cups of flour, I added 2 cups of powdered sugar. And you can imagine what that probably would do to your cake batter without the flour. It didn't work, to say the least. I wouldn't recommend it. And now comes the best part. Time to cut the peaches. But this time, I'm going to go ahead and invite my sous chef, John Bopio, my brother, onto the kitchen floor. Come on, John.
It's great to be here. Ready to cut some peaches.
Ready to cut some peaches. John, go ahead and grab a cutting board and a knife, and we'll just cut these into slices. We're going to end up laying these on top of the pan that we caramelized the sugar and the cinnamon on. These are going to lay right on there. Then we'll go ahead and lay the cake batter on, throw it in the oven, and we're just minutes away. So let's go ahead and get cutting.
All right.
As I mentioned before, we didn't buy these peaches in season, which isn't a problem. It just means you can't cut them all the way through. No big deal. I'm just kind of cutting them into slices like so. But you can be creative. You do what you want. This is your world, and they're your peaches. See what I did there? That's a Bob Ross reference. Sarah and I have been watching a lot of Bob Ross lately. That's my girlfriend. We really like it. It's very peaceful. He tells very encouraging stories, paints beautiful landscapes, and you know, I really aspire to have an attitude on life like Bob Ross does. Really inspiring man, really. So we're ready to put our peaches on our spring form. As I came back to our spring form, I noticed that there was a little bit of leakage. And a real easy solution to this is I can just put it on a larger pan so that it doesn't leak so much in the oven. And sometimes some of these spring forms will do that. And this is I just want to show you that you can come up with these really easy solutions even if you're not an expert baker like myself. as long as you just have some of the basic tools in your house. So now I'm gonna grab the peaches that we just cut and just lay them on here. And you can put it however you like. There's no rhyme, no reason to it. Just spread them out. You can layer a couple of them. I have different cuts of pineapple. I have different cuts of peach. And them sitting on this nice caramelized brown sugar is gonna look real nice. It's gonna soak up that brown sugar and that cinnamon. And these peaches are gonna just pop out with flavor. It's gonna be a firework in your mouth. Just get those out on there. And I may have cooked too many peaches. You don't have to use all of them. Just whatever you like. Maybe not stack them too high, or else they won't. Not all of them will get on that caramel, cinnamon, and sugar. I'm gonna add a couple more in some of these spots that don't have any yet. And even if your peaches aren't in season necessarily, once you cook them, they're gonna soften up and just melt in your mouth. It's gonna be really good. You know what, I think I am gonna end up using all these after all. Don't have too much more here. All right, so that's done just like so. Finally now, last step, we're gonna go ahead and add our cake mix, since we're a little stuck here, onto our peaches. And I don't have a spatula, but that's okay. You don't need one. I'm just using this little wooden thing, and you know what, I'm gonna make it work. I'm sure you probably don't have everything you need to cook a perfect cake in your home, and that's perfectly fine. Just improvise. It's not too hard. You're just gonna wanna spread this out nice even layer. So now we're ready to throw this in the oven. We're gonna put it in for 35 to 40 minutes and see how it goes. All right, cake's ready. Good. We're gonna let it sit for about 3 minutes and then we'll flip it over. You don't wanna wait too long. Time to flip the cake upside down.
Look at that gooey.
Look at this gooey goodness stuff. That, ladies and gentlemen, is how you make a Christmas cinnamon peach upside down cake.
The ice cream perfectly complements it.
It does. Cinnamon is subtle, but it makes the dish.
Jingle, jingle, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh. Jingle, jingle, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse sleigh. Dashing through the snow in a one-horse open sleigh. All the fields we go, laughing all the way. Bells on bobtails ring, making spirits bright.
Like guns.
Action.
Are y'all ready to get this sleigh ride on the road? Wait, what was it? Are y'all ready for this sleigh ride?
To begin.
Alright. Gonna start. It should be recording already.
3, 2, 1, action.
Ho ho ho! And welcome to the first annual Christmas baking show entitled Baking with Bove. This year, we're gonna be cooking some bacon. Ho ho ho! Cue.
3, 2, action.
Ho ho ho! Welcome to the first annual Christmas baking show with Baking with Bove. Are you ready? You're not giving me a cue!
I gave you the finger.
Oh my gosh. Bert, you can speak, you know.
Why are you obsessed with that? It sounds like you're saying balls.
Yes, I know, that's the point! Look at the directions. Okay, place the butter in a bowl and electric mixer, fit it in the pedal.
I can't right now. Okay, 1 second. So now just say like, no, you can't flip it over while I'm not filming. Come on.
Come on! Why would you stop filming when I'm in the process of turning it over? I don't care what they're doing.
Because I said I'm going to stop filming.
Go.
Stop moving.
It's flipped.
No, flip it back.
Flip it back.
Press play.
It's fine.
Flip it back.
Third time baking, and I really got into it because
It's okay.
why
it's
did I get
okay.
into baking? Oh yeah, and I wanted to get, and I decided to start baking.
Like out.
You know your peaches aren't ready when you can't cut them into slices. Unfortunately, we decided to bake a peach upside down cake when peaches aren't in season. But I like peaches all the time, so it's gonna work out, you know what I'm saying?
You know what I'm saying?
Sean.